So good morning dear students. So today we are going to discuss about bearing. So let us know how can you define a bearing. So when there is a relative motion occurs between two mechanical or machine element which is stationary and supporting the moving machine or rotating element such as shaft or axle is known as bearings. Okay. So here we have taken two example. We have this is our element 1 suppose, and this is our element 2. So this element 2 is moving with a velocity v and element 1 is stationary. So now you can see there is a relative motions between element 1 and element 2. So in this case, according to the definition, we can say that this element 1 is supporting the moving element. So here we can say this stationary surface or stationary element is defined or known as bearing for this case. So this is when our the relative motion is in linear condition. But here if we see that we have shaft or axle case. So here this is the element or 1, this is also element 1 and this element 2. So this shaft is rotating a certain angular velocity and this element 1, this 2 element 1 is supporting or guiding this shaft. Okay, so for this case this is our stationary, or we can say this is known as bearings. So bearings, told already I said that when there is a relative motion, the element which will support the moving or rotating element, that is defined as the bearings. Okay, so here you can see that these are the two important: relative motion and stationary, supporting the moving element. So this is the main point that we need to concentrate. Okay, so now we will see that functions of bearing. So already I told that it is supporting the moving or rotating element. So when it is supporting, it also guides or confines the motion of the shaft. Okay, so the function of that bearing is it support the shaft, guide and confine its motions. Also, it reduce the friction between rotating or moving element. As we know that when there is a relative motion, at the contact surface always there will be a friction. Okay, at the contact surface always there will be a friction. Okay, so bearings basically reduce these frictions. Okay, so these are the two main functions of bearing. So supports and so as already we have discussed that when there is a relative motions between the two element, there is a friction, and due to this friction, or if we want to overcome this friction, then definitely there is a power loss. Okay, so there will be a power loss, and also due to the rubbing action there is a wear. Okay, so this is our power loss. So now if we want to reduce the wear as well as power loss, then we need to use the lubricant. Okay, so always when there is a bearings, we need to use lubricant to reduce the power loss as well as wear loss. Okay, so this we have seen that lubricant is used to overcome the frictions. So now if we want to say that how can we define a good bearings. Okay, so when there is a good bearing, so what will be the criteria for good bearing? So when there is a good bearing, there should be minimum power loss. Okay, so if we say that this bearing is a good bearing, so that bearing should be there the minimum power loss. So now next topic we are going to discuss about classifications of bearing. Okay, so in gross manner if we classify, we can get two types of bearing. One is known as sliding contact bearing another one is we have rolling contact bearing. In sliding contact bearing, there is a sliding between the contact surface. Means we have seen bearing means there should be a relative motion. So that relative motion will be in the form of sliding. Okay, and here it will be rolling. So that rolling contact bearing also is known as anti-friction bearing, because this starting friction is very less, or it is lesser than the sliding contact bearing. That's why we are calling this as a anti-friction bearing. So now coming to the sliding contact bearing, again we have divided the sliding contact bearing into slip bearing and slipper or guide bearing. Okay, so here if you see that slipper or guide bearing means there will be a straight line motion. That motion should be straight line, then we call it as a slipper or guide bearing. And slip bearing means there is a rotation. There is a rotation. Okay, means sliding will be in the form of rotation. So this is our slip and slipper. So here if we see that slipper bearing, so all of you know that there is we have the piston cylinder arrangement. So here if you see that this cylinder is in fixed or stationary surface, so our piston will be moving along this cylinder. Okay, so here our this surface, or we can call this as a cylinder, this will be known as our slipper or guide bearing. Why we are calling this guide? Because this guiding the motion of these pistons. Okay, so that's why this also is known as guide bearing. Then we have slip bearing, means there will be rotation. So here if we see that we have, this is one surface rotational and like this. So if we have this as one surface, so we can call this as a slip bearing, because it is rotating and there is a relative motion. Okay, so now again if we move to the slip bearing, we have again three classification with respect to type of load. Then we have with respect to type of lubricant that we used lubricant, and again we have with respect to type of bushings. Okay, so again we'll see one by one. So with respect to type of load, we have axial or thrust bearing, and with respect to radial, and another one is we have radial or journal bearing. Again we have classified that axial or thrust bearing as a pivot or collar bearing, and again this pivot can be classified as a flat or conical. Similarly, collar bearing also can be classified as a flat or conical bearing. Okay, so now let's see that axial or thrust bearing. So if we see that pivot bearing, then already I have drawn this. Here if you see this pivot bearing, so if it is our pivot, then it will be in this form. So here axial or thrust means there will be only axial or thrust load is acting, means from the upward vertical load is acting. So that's why we are calling this axial or thrust. So when this surface is flat, then we call this as a flat pivot bearing, and if this surface is conical, then we will be calling this as a conical bearing. So this is our flat bearing, this surface, and this this is our flat and this is a conical bearing. So now coming to the collar bearing, we have two types, flat and conical. So here if you see this is our collar, this is known as collar. Okay, so there we have this is our flat collar and this is conical collar bearing. So you can see that almost this axial thrust bearing are the same, pivot and collar. Okay, then we have radial or journal bearing. So in radial or journal bearing, if you see, this is our shaft and this is our bearing. Okay, so here the part of the shaft which is inside the bearing, that part is known as journal. Okay, the part of the shaft which is inside the bearing, this is known as journal. So basically this part is known as journal. Okay, and this is our stationary, so this is known as our bearing. So always there is a confusion that which is greater, or the which dia is more, bearing dia or journal dia. So keep it in mind, the part of the shaft is known as journal, so means definitely the dia of the journal will be lesser than the dia of the bearing, and we can see this is also indicating journal bearing. Okay, so this journal or radial bearing also classified in three types, that is our full journal bearing, then we have partial journal bearing, and next we have fitted journal bearing. So according to this that bearing, we have classified this full journal bearing, partial and fitted. So let's see, if when we have full journal bearing, means that bearing will be covering the full or 360 degree of the shaft. So suppose this is our bearing and this is our shaft. Okay, so here that shaft is covered by, or 360 covered by this what we call this bearing. Okay, so this is our full journal bearing. Okay, so and similarly we have partial. If this bearing is not covering 360 degree, then we will be calling this as a partial bearing. So suppose this is our 120, 180, whatever may be. So above this, if you have the shaft, then we call this as a partial. So this is our partial bearing. Okay, now we have fitted bearing. So fitted bearing means that it covered to 360 degree and the shaft is tightly fitted with the bearing. The shaft is tightly fitted with the bearing. Then we will be calling this as a fitted journal bearing. Okay, so this is the three types of bearing in radial or journal bearing. So next we have with respect to the type of lubricant. So here if you see that with respect to type of lubricant, there is again classified as three types. One is our thin film, then we have thick film, then we have zero film or solid film. Thin film means at stationary condition or always there will be metal to metal contact. Means suppose we have bearing and shaft, so then always there will be metal to metal contact, then we call this as a thin film bearing. Thick film means in thick film there is again two classification. If we see thick film, then we have another two classification. One we have hydrodynamic and another one we have hydrostatic. In hydrodynamic means at high speed there will be no metal to metal contact, means at lower speed there will be metal to metal contact, and in hydrostatic means at static condition there will be no metal to metal contact. So this is our thick film. So now we'll see that zero film or solid film. So there is some materials which itself act as a lubricant. So for that, for those kind of materials, no need to provide lubricant. Like we have graphite. So graphite itself act as a lubricant. So that's why this is known as zero film or solid lubrication or solid lubricant or solid film, because solid itself act as a lubricant. So next we have with respect to type of bushes. So this is two types. One is solid bushes, another one we have split bushes. So this bush is a kind of journal bearing. Like journal bearing, similar kinds we have that bushings. Okay, so this is next we'll see that rolling contact or anti-friction bearing. So already I told because starting friction is very less, that's why this kind of bearings also known as anti-friction bearing. So this anti-friction bearing is divided into two types. One is our ball bearing, another one we have rolling or roller bearing. Okay, so in ball bearing, again it's classified in four types. One is a deep groove ball bearing, then we have angular contact ball bearing, then we have self alignment and thrust ball bearing. And coming to the roller bearing, we have four types of roller bearing. One is first one is cylindrical roller bearing, then we have spherical roller bearing, then we have taper roller bearing, and last one is needle roller bearing. So these anti-friction bearing we'll discuss in later in detail. Okay, so this is all this is the classifications of bearing. So next classes we'll discuss about the different kinds of bearing in details. Okay, so thank you.